I'd like to talk to you today about fear. But before that, let me ask you a simple question. Do you remember the last time somebody told you you are the coward because you are afraid? Let me know in the comment section below. So let me start with the fear. Let me explain to you what's happening right now to me. In a few days' time, I'm gonna step into the ring. I'm gonna fight for the world title in the boxing. Of course, for the masters, 40 plus old male and females. Now, for many people I know who are gonna fight, that's a second chance in life, as a sports athletes, to get some recognition or to win something greater for themselves. For me, that's the first time. First time I'm gonna step into the ring and fight truly amazing athletes. But the question is, am I afraid? I talk to people around me and I must admit that I am afraid. I am petrified. I am anxious, literally anxious. So I try to explain myself what is happening to me, why I am behaving like this, me. But let me go a little bit back in time in my life. Timeline's gonna go back 30 years. 30 years ago, when I was 18 years old, I went in a war. I was young, inexperienced, green guy who didn't know nothing about life, except I was in a war. Was I afraid? Absolutely. And everybody around me was afraid. And I do remember the doctors who would share with us the trenches and everything else that told us being afraid is okay. It's our guarding mechanism. It's something we get by birth. It's by our instinct or it's by our perception. But let me define for you first what the fear it is. Fear, it's unpleasant feeling triggered by perception of danger, real or imagined. That's what the fear is. We can imagine things gonna happen, may happen, don't happen, or we see something, or we need to do something, or we need to share something, and we are afraid to step out. Am I afraid to go on Friday and Saturday fights? Yes, I am. I can't still conclude is that this being anxious to win, anxious to participate, or what outcome's gonna be. So I go back to my old teachings, days in military. I want to share with you a secret, how you gonna combat your fears. You can't combat fears because somebody says to you, read this or see this. No, it is not. It needs to be tell you how to do it. But before I tell you how, let me make it to distinguish the difference between courage and bravery. Number one, when we are afraid, we're gonna develop either courage, which is gonna translate into the bravery, or we're gonna have the fear and do nothing. That's gonna define us, our actions. So courage is the mental or emotional strength to confront fear, pain, uncertainty, adversity, despite feeling afraid or apprehensive. There's four different courages: moral, physical, emotional, intellectual. Now, when you develop this mental predisposition in your brain that you need to have the courage to face the problem, do you act according to your fears? Because your fear, as I say, can be imagination or can be real danger. You have the two options. Face your fears through the courage, developing your own courage, or you can give up on everything. And when I ask you a question, do you remember last time somebody told you you're the coward because you can't do something? That person should demonstrate you how to do those things. So let's go come back on the courage. Me personally, I have a fears about event because I want to win. So I truly believe it's more anxiousness than the fear. But it's my imagination. What can happen? How is it going to happen? Who is my opponent? But I try to perceive and try to imagine in my head that I'm holding this belt above my head and I say, I won, I prove myself, nobody else to myself, it's possible to do it. Being 51 years old, I do boxing, yeah, it's not such an advisable thing. At least doctors told me that this is not a sport for the man of my age. However, they saluting, they recognizing that my need, that I need to be in constant move, I want to prove myself. So I said, like, look, as long as it's, healthy, it's okay. So when you have the fear, as I said at the beginning, this is the trick. You need to develop courage. Either it's your moral courage, it's your physical courage, it's your emotional or intellectual. Doesn't matter what it is. I personally need to develop my physical courage to deal with this anxiety / fear fear/uncertainty. How I do this? I telling myself, this is how should be done. This is how my fight is gonna look like. I can't demonstrate nobody right now, but I tell you what I'm doing this very moment. Once when the fight is over and I win, I tell you more how I behave, how I acted, what was going through my head. But to you learn the tricks, I need to demonstrate you how. So what I'm doing, it's right now convincing myself. I'm talking to myself in the mirror, in the car, wherever I go, that this is okay. I'm gonna win. I know, I prepare myself. I'm bringing everything best I can into that ring. For 2 years, I'm training. However, last 2 years was many lockdowns, so it wasn't possible to fight. So now it's time. Secondly, that is your courage. So that's your mental preparation. It's in your head. That's what the courage it is. I remember in the war, you think, as I say, I was courageous all the time or brave. No, I wasn't. Like everybody else, I was afraid. However, certain situation was forcing me to change my mental feelings. That's what it is. It's like a switch, my mental switch in your head. Boom! It's a fear, it's a danger. I'm hungry, I'm cold, they're gonna kill us, they're gonna shell on us, they're gonna bombard us, whatever it is. I remember one of the things I wrote in my book. It's when they attacked the village we're defending and the tank parked in front of our house. In front of our house, we're on a level 1. And the guy, the tank driver, was sticking his head through the opening, on the front of the tank. And on the cupola was a commanding officer eating the apple and turned the barrel into the building, the house where we are, shoot the ground floor, the level 2, we collapsed. I pissed my pants. I was so much afraid, but then I said to myself, we're gonna get you, because my fear, I knew it. If this didn't kill us, we gonna make it damage to them, which basically we did later on. But why? Because I decided, as I'm deciding right now, that my fears/anxieties, I need to develop courage. You need to develop courage in your head. I can do it. I must do it. This is the reason why I'm gonna do it. And then you translate this into the action, which is a bravery. Bravery is a specific type of courage that often relates to actions taken in the face of physical danger, risk, or threat. That's what is the bravery. So if somebody says to you, a coward, ask them, if I'm the coward, show me how I should do it. Show me by leading by your example how I should not be the coward. Show me. You want me to go in a war, but I'm afraid to go in a war? Show me. You go in a war first. Show me. I go after you. You don't want me to jump from the bridge? Well, you jump first and tell me when you land, how is water. Guys, being afraid is okay. I'm telling you this from my personal experience in a war, in a life. But the difference is going to be how you're going to develop your courage and translate this into meaningful action, which is a bravery. So being afraid is okay. Don't let nobody tells you opposite. Being afraid is okay. But your actions are going to determine, are you truly man, up to your words, or woman, or nobody will be able to count on you. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comment section below, what do you think?